Hello everyone. My lecture title today is Dance as a Form of Storytelling. As we all are celebrating International World Dance Day today, I would like to talk about related to dance, expression beyond words. So I will take only 60 minutes or maybe less than 60 minutes. So so that I can make people understand that the dance is a form of storytelling. So, if I talk about the whole lecture, then I would like to point out some important points which are related to dance as a form of storytelling and expression beyond words. So, my first pointer is dance and emotion. Movement as communication is the second pointer. Culture and storytelling, personal reflection, in which I'll discuss my story as a dancer, dance in the digital age. This is my last pointer for the beginning of the lecture. So, hello everyone, and welcome to today's lecture on dance as a form of storytelling. Today, I don't just want to talk about dance as performance or entertainment. I want to explore dance as something much deeper, something emotional, expressive, cultural, and deeply human. When we think about storytelling, we usually think about books, films, writing, or speaking. But long before many people could read or write, stories were already being told through movement. And that is what makes dance so powerful. Dance communicates emotions that words sometimes cannot explain: joy, pain, celebration, love, loss, freedom, hope. All of these emotions can exist through movement. Today, we will explore how dance tells stories, how different dance forms express emotion differently, why body language matters, how dance connects culture and identity, and how storytelling through dance continues evolving through YouTube and digital platforms. I also want this lecture to feel conversational and reflective. So, while listening, I want you to think, what kind of stories does movement tell without words? So basically, I want to know that what is storytelling, and I want to tell you also regarding storytelling, which is beyond words. Is it verbal storytelling, visual storytelling, emotional storytelling, or physical storytelling? What is it all about? So dance is physical plus emotional storytelling. So storytelling is not limited to speaking. A story can be told through expressions, visuals, silence, music, movement, and moreover, dance combines many of these elements together. And when all these elements come together, dance uses the body, rhythm, timing, facial expressions, posture, space, all to communicate emotion. Sometimes a dancer can communicate sadness without saying a single word. Sometimes celebration can be felt through energy and rhythm. This is what makes dance universal. Even when we do not understand the language or culture completely, we can still feel the emotion. And I think that emotional connection is one of the most powerful forms of storytelling. Moving on, why dance connects emotionally? Why movement feels human? Humans naturally respond to rhythm. First, expressions create empathy. Movement reflects emotion. Music enhances emotional connection. So, have you ever watched a dance performance and felt emotional without fully understanding why? Well, that happens because humans naturally respond to movement and rhythm. We connect emotionally through body and language. I mean to say body language. For example, slow movements may feel emotional or reflective. Sharp movements may feel intense or powerful. Flowing movements may feel peaceful or graceful. Our minds automatically interpret emotionally. Music also plays an important role in it. Music and movement together create atmosphere. An atmosphere creates emotional experience. That is why dance storytelling feels immersive. Now let's come to the next part, that is classical dance and storytelling. Bharatanatyam and Kathak includes facial expressions, hand gestures, rhythm, and storytelling, spiritual and emotional themes. Classical dance forms are some of the strongest examples of storytelling through movement. For example, Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam uses mudras, hand gestures, like this, expressions, posture, when we do half sitting, eye movement, all to narrate stories. Many performances are inspired by mythology, devotion, emotions, and human experiences. Kathak is another beautiful storytelling form. Kathak combines rhythm, spins, expressions, footwork in a very graceful way. What I personally admire about these forms is the discipline behind them. Every movement carries meaning. Nothing feels random. These dance forms remind us that storytelling can exist physically, emotionally, and spiritually at the same time. If you agree with this pointer or with all these pointers, then please leave your comment in the comment section. Because my next point is related to contemporary and freestyle. That includes emotional freedom through dance, personal interpretation, emotional release, fluid movement, individual expression. So whenever I talk about contemporary and freestyle dance, feel different from classical forms. They often focus more on emotional interpretation and freedom. In contemporary dance, emotions are sometimes expressed abstractly. A performance may represent anxiety, healing, identity, loneliness, hope, without using literal storytelling. Freestyle dance is also deeply personal. It allows dancers to move naturally with emotion instead of fixed choreography. And I think that honesty is beautiful. in that storytelling, because storytelling is not always about perfection. Sometimes it is simply about expression. Now, moving on to the next part. The next part is all related to social and cultural dance. Dance as community and celebration, bihu, salsa, Latin dance, folk traditions, celebration and connection. So, if I want to begin the community dance forms, then I would like to say that many dance forms are deeply connected to community and celebration. For example, Bihu from Assam. Bihu feels energetic, joyful, and culturally rich. It carries identity through rhythm and movement. What I personally love about Bihu is its natural elegance and joyful energy. Then there is salsa and Latin dance. These dance forms communicate coordination, rhythm, partnership, confidence. Watching synchronized dance movements often feels uplifting because they show trust and connection. Folk dances around the world tell stories about harvest, traditions, festivals, celebrations, history. Dance becomes a cultural memory. It doesn't stay restricted to one memory, it becomes a cultural memory. Now let's move on to body language as storytelling. Expression without speaking, eye contact, posture, gestures, energy, and presence.